Welcome to another episode of the Fanzone podcast, your home for all things Bolton Wanderers, up the Trotters, the Northwest's #1 podcast.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fanzone podcast titled Cobbled, episode 152. Yeah, wow. Seems to creep up really quickly, that number, doesn't it? Cobbled as we were well and truly done by the Cobblers in Northampton, weren't we? 2-0. Pretty disappointing day all round. Good evening, everyone. Just as before we get going, obviously, sponsored by the lovely Love of My Socials. Anything social media, website-wise, all that good stuff. You know where to go. There'll be a link in the description and on our website. Leanne does a great job. Good evening, everyone. It's good to have you here. It's our therapy session, isn't it, after a loss. Ian, always early. Love that, Ian. 7:54. He's always in the chat early. Love it, mate.
Go on, Ian.
He's in the chat before we even logged on. I know, yeah. That's how we know. We're running a bit late when we log on and Ian's already there. Evening, all, yeah. This, mate. Holding us accountable. Jordan, Macaulay, Kelly, Leslie, Brandon. Yeah, complete and utter poop from Brandon. Yeah, we'll get onto that pretty soon. Thanks for joining us, guys. I'm here joined by Dan again. How you doing, mate?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm not so bad, thank you. Calmed down a bit after yesterday, to some extent, anyway. Yeah, not so bad.
Yeah, we were just saying then it's a good job we record our podcast on a Sunday night and not Saturday R5, because the mood would be a lot different. We have about 24 hours to settle down a bit, don't we, and think about what we're saying. Ange, how are you doing?
Back.
She's back.
Thank you,
welcome back. Yeah.
For noticing that I've been away. It's just the one pod member left this week, not two. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. One's gone and one's returned. We're all good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm obviously after that bloody waste of time journey yesterday. Actually, to be fair, I'd have been more fuming if the traffic was terrible, but it wasn't too bad of a trip.
Yeah, you the one of us that went, weren't you? Well, you and Cole, and how was it? You said before we went live, it was a bit
worst away day. I swear to God, we have some utter tripe aways, but I think it takes the biscuit in Northampton.
Yeah. Well, on that note, let's get into the football and jump into post-match reactions. Yeah, 2-0 loss. Our first loss in 11 games in all competitions after we thumped Wigan last week and it looked like everything was rosy. After that, we had 3 games against teams that are down there or kind of relegation threatened, and it looked like an opportunity to pick up some points. But yeah, we started off with a 2-0 loss. Pretty disappointing. I think basically everyone who's played well this season had an off day. But yeah, we'll start off with you, Ange. You were there. You saw it in the flesh. How was it? It didn't look great from home, but how was it in the away end?
I mean, it wasn't, was it? And I think Colin said it on the way home that it kind of, and I think I dismissed him quite quickly yesterday because I was just, because you're up here, aren't you? You've got your own thoughts about what's going on, and then you can sit and reflect a little bit, and you do come back with a bit less of an aggie. I think the only time we've ever done a same day pod was that Barnsley one last season.
Oh, and that needed it, yeah. The emotion was needed.
We're much too early in the season to be doing an emergency pod. But yeah, it was so frustrating Burstow's miss, I think, was what I was going to allude to, what Colin said about that kind of set the tone a little bit for how the game was going to pan. The atmosphere is terrible.
Joshua's just said, I don't know what was worse, the atmosphere or the game. I must admit, I mean, when you're watching it from on the TV, you can never fully understand. You can never fully get it. It's the proper reflection of the atmosphere or not. But yeah, it did seem pretty rubbish, and you said it was, didn't you?
Yeah, nothing just got going, and like Chris has just said in the chat, there was no beer. Like even when we got there, they were like, "Yeah, we've run out." I spoke to one of the stewards and was like, because I knew from last season that they didn't have any at half time. So I just said, "Are you actually opening the concourse at half time?" He went, "I've just radioed through because we've run out of beer." So here we go again.
Just sets the tone, doesn't it? Really, that
just sets the tone. And I think the frustration kind of comes out that when you have just thumped Wigan 4-1, and we just could have done with getting on the back of that and putting a couple of wins together, and we just can't seem to do it. We had chances that we just missed. I think towards the end, I think we almost got one off Dalby's shoulder or something. It just was, one of those days where nothing on another day it might have, but it just nothing went for him, and it was frustrating because the wingers were nullified again, and we just seemed to get drawn into that kind of Nobby's game plan, and he carried it out well.
The way they were playing, yeah, I know. Well, it's as you mentioned, Burstow's chance. Then, I mean, how we didn't bury that, I'd never know. I mean, the keeper's even gone a bit early, hasn't he, and opened up that side of the goal for him. And I mean, he's obviously spotted that and thought, I just took it in the bottom corner, and it goes wide. Yeah, it's one of them moments in the games. I feel like we all feel it. We all think, and it's only 15 minutes in that, and we all think, it's not going to be on our. We hate to admit it in our heads, and the positive side of us wants to go, it's all right, we'll get past that. But you do have that nagging feeling that, something like that happening so early in the game, you're like, it's not going to be our day today.
Well, then you think it happens at 15 minutes, and you think, here we go, it's got to be good this. That's it, but we're going to get more chance, another chance, and then obviously to concede the goal, which I need binoculars, so my eyes are shy. And when you're behind the opposite goal, and because I'm a short ass as well, I literally have to like bend underneath the goalpost at our side to see to the other side. So it looks like possibly a goalie isn't great at keeping out, shall we say?
Isn't great at goalie.
Yeah. It looked like something that he's probably going to have to work on a little bit in training. But then, to get that penalty so soon after, it just completely killed it, didn't it?
Yeah, it felt like a bit of a head loss, didn't it? That whole kind of 5 minutes, because I mean, straight after kickoff, we gave the ball away, didn't we? And it just kind of, the crowd was up, all their players were obviously buzzing off just scoring, and a bit of lack of discipline from Mario kind of jumping in and giving away the penalties, a bit disappointing. Dan, how did you see the game, mate?
It was flat, wasn't it? I mean, first 15 minutes, I thought we looked pretty positive. Burstow should have scored. It was one of them, when he's almost got too much time, and I hate that excuse because he's a professional. He'll do that 10 times out of 10 in training and put it. But I felt like that galvanised them, but it knocked our confidence as well, and we just got embroiled into a scrap, which suited them right down to a T. I thought we still had our chances, obviously. The keepers made some cracking saves, but they'd done a job on us yesterday, and you have to hold your hands up sometimes and say fair play to them. We weren't at it for too much of the game, and they were well up for it, and they were well organised, and they did, like you say, they didn't give us much space. Again, I feel like we're turning into a team of like what if FC. So like, first those goal goes in, you go and win, but we're always on the other side of them margins. It's never like, it doesn't seem to ever be falling for us.
Yeah,
it's frustrating, and don't get me wrong, I don't think we were that bad now that I've had like a day to think about it when you like weigh up the chances and whatnot. But it weren't our level, and it weren't good enough for what we expect. I mean, without being disrespectful to Northampton, I said it in the preview show, if we're serious about going up autos, you've got to be turning teams like Northampton over. I know they played well, you've just got to overcome it. And I thought there were too many passengers on the day, and I really hate to say this because I'm not going to big players out, but I would love a goalkeeper whose wrists aren't made out of crisp packets, because you've just got to push the ball away. If you can get an answer to a shot, you've got to push it away.
Yeah. That's a frustrating thing, wasn't it? It was
keepers.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure we'll touch on it again later.
Yes.
When we ask for questions for Fan Focus, which I will do now, get your topics in for Fan Focus later. I imagine it'll be a big talking point. But yeah, it does seem like every time we're threatened the tiniest bit, we're let down, aren't we?
Yeah. You know what? Sorry, jumping in there. It's probably because Leslie mentioned Sheehan's just reminding me that I was very surprised he started Sheehan. For me, away from home against a physical side like Northampton is not a game for Josh Sheehan.
In that wind as well.
And the narrow pitch, and it's just not suited. He needs a nice big vast area to see, and I was really surprised at that when he made that change.
Yeah. There's a Cobbled fan in the chat. It's always nice to get some opposition perspective.
Yeah.
Although he's called McGeehan again.
Changing it.
I know, cheers. It was McGeehan again. He said, as a Cobblers fan, I was not surprised that we frustrated the Bolton front line. Massive error, and I was surprised with the miss. Yep. But it's typical of us this season to push on and get that goal. That changed the game for me. I think everyone this season kind of expected Northampton to be down there and struggling. And they did start the season struggling. And then they've picked it up really well in the last 4 or 5 games. I'm sure the commentator said after the game that's 4 clean sheets in 5 games for them.
Yeah.
So they're no mugs. Look, I agree. We have to be going to Northampton and beating them, but with all due respect, McGeehan again, ole. But look, fair play. You did a job on us and solid defensively. As most of our chances we got were kind of down to your errors. You're not either not cleared your lines or a dodgy back pass, something like that. We didn't really carve you open that much, and. I guess that's where I'm going to go on this point now about you can accept those type of performances and those type of results every once in 10 games, which it has been. If the 9 out of the 10 other games that we've dominated this season, we've got results in most out of them. If we'd have won 6 or 7 of the first 9, which we really probably should have expected to, the way we've been playing and the way we've been dominating chances in pretty much every game, you can kind of sit back and go, look, we're going to have an off game once every 10 games. The team is going to do us once every 10 games. And if you lose that, you go, fair play, we'll learn from it and go again. But the fact that we've only won 3 of the 10 it just piles on the frustration, doesn't it, really?
The 2 losses in 10 now, if it was 2 losses, 8 wins, then buzzing.
Exactly.
Those draws are massively biting us on the arse already.
Yeah.
I think the away draws could go down as good points, but it's the home games, isn't it? It's that Lincoln Red. You got to win them.
They're the 2 killers, aren't they?
Yeah. And it's not. Don't get me wrong. There's no panic station or anything like that. It's just a frustrating day that for me. But obviously we've seen it before, haven't we? So that's why we get wound up about it.
That's
the limit being Bolton fan.
That's exactly it. It's frustrating rather than just outright rubbish that we're getting annoyed at. Look, if we sat here after 10 games and I'm thinking, God, we've only looked good in 2 or 3 games, I'd be thinking, we need to.
And we've looked decent. When we've lost, we look decent against Stockport and lost.
Exactly.
It's not that we don't look decent. We just aren't clinical enough, and it's a worry. We said it on the way home yesterday. It's almost like we've got home and away players, teams. It's like they change personas, and they're all a little bit very cagey away from home. Everyone just needs to be getting on the same page, and I know it takes a little bit of time to gel, and there are quite a few new players in there, but that back line have played together now for a while.
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry, mate. Go on. You crack on.
Well, it's funny because I'm in two minds about the defence, whether I think it's good or not. I think because if we'd have had, I'm not to bang on about it, but if we had James Trafford in there or first season Nathan Baxter in there who pulls off a good save every game, maybe we're sat here with the best defence in the league because we barely have conceded chances in most games. Yesterday was probably the most we kind of conceded, the most kind of chances we gave up in a game, really. And I mean, their 2 big ones didn't come until the last 20 minutes. So on the whole, and as a team, we've defended well for large parts of games, but it's just when we switch off and when we do get breached, it just seems like
and
it's
it is
so
a
easy
worry
to go behind. Yeah,
shots against us do tend to end up in the back of the net, so that is a concern, I would say, at this point.
Yeah, go on, Dan. What were you going to say before I interrupted?
Well, I was thinking one thing, but I'm just looking at what Chris Burton's wrote there, and I agree that you look after Wigan game, you look at our next three, that's your run, that, isn't it? That's where you're going to build momentum. You should be building momentum to propel yourself up the league, because obviously, we're only 10 games in or whatever. We're by no means out of it. It's silly to even think that at this point. Yeah. But it's frustrating because you know what you've seen, and a lot of the performances have been good. And I just think we should be a lot higher up in the league. And this was a perfect opportunity after Wigan to go and with a full head of steam and build some proper momentum. And it just feels like we've kind of not failed because we've got 2 other games, but it's like the first hurdle, you've fallen at it. And it's like to get yourself from them levels to against Wigan, where we've historically done so poorly, to go to Northampton. And I don't want to say they're complacent, but the intensity wasn't the same.
Yeah.
It was nowhere near it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's one of them. It's early days, and because we have drawn so many games, a couple of wins and a couple of losses either side makes it look a whole lot different. Like, you're right. If we say we win one, lose one of the next 2, all of a sudden it's 4 wins from your first 12, and you're thinking, oh, not too great. But then if we win them both, it's we've only lost 2 games, and we're probably in the top 6 about it. It's that type of season where it's funny. You look at the table and your positions on the table, it doesn't really properly reflect where you are, because a couple of games and a couple of results can completely change where you are. Because look, as I say, we've dropped so many points, and already this season we're only I think we're 9 points off top, which is 3 wins, isn't it? So it's frustrating, but
and I get. Do you know what? It's one of those things that annoys me a little bit about when people say we're only whatever off the whatever, because they aren't staying there on those points.
No, 100%.
So it does count. It doesn't matter at what point in the season you win. You've just got to. You need to stay with the pack. And
of course, yeah. But I mean, as I say,
stuff and not keeping us. We have to win every single match at home. We have to 3 points at home consistently.
Yep, I agree. Right. I think it's time to hear what the old Statman said. I think he was buzzing about. He put this in the chat about 5 minutes after the game. I think he was trying to forget about United's result earlier on. So let's hear what he's going to say in the Gaffer's Notebook. It's called, isn't it? Yeah, this season. Let's hear him.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gaffer's Notebook, where, of course, we've got to review Northampton Town. Although, does anyone really want to? Probably not. But don't click off, because I'm going to have a serious rant, and that could be quite amusing. And, normally I dive into the stats and the tactics here for what went wrong in this game, but I don't think there's much point in me doing that, because it's the same thing again, isn't it? You've dominated the game, you dominated possession, you created good chances, and you didn't take them. And how many times have we said this season? I don't even know how many games you've played, and it feels like I've said it every game. And of course I didn't, because I didn't say it against Wigan. And we'll come on to that in just a second. So yeah, I'm not going to go to the tactics board. There are still going to be some stats, of course, because I am the stat man. But this is going to be more of a rant, because why not? So the first thing I'm going to say is Marcus Force, good player, right? I think we can all agree he's a talented footballer. However, he cannot play as a number 10 in a possession-heavy side. 1, because he's not a natural number 10. And 2, because when he does play as an attacking midfielder, he plays more as a second striker, if you will. He plays just off Burstow rather than in the hole, if you understand what I'm trying to say. And yeah, you had 63% possession of the ball, meaning he was just stood there, not affecting the game in the ways that he can. If you're playing him in a possession-heavy game, you stick him up front or you stick him on the wing, right? And I'd probably say the left wing, because I think we can all agree Kozia Dubry is quite the baller. And Gale and Sissoko have both struggled at times, to be fair. But yeah, when you're playing possession-heavy football, you need a creative player in the pocket who just has the freedom to roam and pick up, just find space and then play a ball through. Or even just keep it ticking. Like Randall, he's not the most creative man in the world, but he keeps the ball flowing. And can someone tackle you if you've not got the ball? No, in short. So yeah, he just keeps it ticking. And that you play better with Randall. Yeah, he's not brilliant, is he? He's not had the best season in the world. But you play better with him because he keeps it flowing. Next thing, Josh Sheehan. I'm a big fan. He's a good player. Very good footballer. Mr. Xavier Simons. Big fan. He's a very good footballer. Can they play together? Not a chance. Right? They both want to do the same thing, and that is effectively the conductor role. Right? They want to dictate play from the middle of the park. Like, they can't do it together. It just can't happen. Right? We saw today, Simons has proved that he's more than good enough at doing it, has he not? And he only made 23 passes against Northampton. And he's made an average of 40 in the other games. So that tells you all you need to know right there, for one. I'm seeing Simons making runs into the final third. It's just not what he does, is it? Yeah, he can. But that's not the strength of his game. He is the holding midfielder. And yet, if you're playing two bodies in there, in holding midfield, again, it's been proved that it's Simons and Big Heath. Has it not? Yeah. Oh, I'm not even a fan and I'm getting annoyed. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is you're going to struggle against any team that sits off because you've not quite figured out how to play possession-heavy football because it's new. And you may say, oh, Statman, it's not new. We did it under Ian Evatt. Yeah, but it's completely different. Completely different. One, because it's miles better football to watch. I think we can all agree on that. Two, different formation. Three, different manager, different principles. It's different. Possession football is possession football, but it is different. And then you may say, why can't we just play how we did against Wigan? Because when teams run at you, there's space in behind. Wigan went at you. It was a derby. They had to. If they sit off in the derby, everyone thinks the mugs, even if they win. They go at you because they're up for the game and they want to start early, get a goal quick. And that left you space. There was space in behind, you could score. And then it was game over from that point. You had the confidence, it was done. You can't play like that because that was very transitional football. You can't play like that in every game because some teams just won't let you. Like Northampton wouldn't have let you. They sit off, play a very solid defensive shape. Now, what I will say, this is a positive. Northampton are one of the best defensive teams in the division by a mile. Like, they have been unreal this season defensively. And you created good chances. You didn't take them, but you created them. That shows that you can do it. It's been proven that you can play good football. Good possession football. You create chances. You've even scored them sometimes. Albeit not all the time, right? But you can play good football. And it has worked this season under this manager. So, what I'm saying is, this is very different to get stat on to normal, right? Of course. But get behind the manager, get behind the players, because you have seen it's worked, right? It doesn't work all the time, but it has worked. And it will continue to get better and better and better. You've got to think it takes so long to get used to a new style of football. And half of these players, yes, weren't at the club under the previous manager, but it's not the same football from where they've come from, is it? So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why I've even got my notes here, because that's all just come straight from my head, to be honest. So yeah, just get behind the players and the manager, because it will work. This is a Statman guarantee, it will work, right? It might take a while. And yeah, so what you've got to do, in short, when you're playing against a quality side, then you play transitional football. Because you're arguably the best of that in the division, and that's not your main system. Because it can't be your main system. And then when you're playing possession-heavy football, and you miss a chance, you're always going to go, oh, why haven't we scored that? But then, straight after, you go, come on, it's working. They're going to do it. And yeah, I'm not going to tell you how to support your team, am I? But that's all I've got to say. And I could say a lot more, but this is a family-friendly show at the end of the day. Yeah, very different gets that on Gaffer's notebook. Whatever it is, to normal. It will return. Yeah, it will return next time. More stats, more analysis, all of that. But this had to be said, and I think you can all agree on that. So I'll leave you for the rest of the show and see you very soon. Goodbye.
Love it, Statman. Some passion flowing through there.
Fired up.
Quite possibly one of my favourite Statmans. That.
Yeah, it's great. Something a little different, just straight from the heart. 7 minutes of pure passion and confidence in the team. Yeah, frustration and confidence in the team and the manager that it's going to get right. He even put his name on it. The Statman guarantee that it's going to come good. We'll see. But yeah, I agree with everything he said. Really. Well, something he touched on and we've not mentioned as well was the changes that he made. Change that he made, bringing Sheehan in for Rahan. I must admit, everyone's Mr. Hindsight at the end of the game, but I must admit, when the team came out, I did think, bit surprised that he took Rahan out, especially being away from home. He's more solid out of possession and he's more physical, isn't he, than Sheehan, and especially in the conditions. With it, being windy and horrible, and pitch not great, bit tight. I was surprised he put Sheehan and Simons together because, as Statman said, they both kind of want to do the same thing. And mentioning Simons, he had a very rare, probably the first time he looked really off it yesterday, I thought. Him along with Conway and Burstoper with the three main disappointing performances who have all been pretty much 10 out of 10 every other week. So, but anyway, back to the original point. Dan, were you a little bit confused when the team came out, or could you kind of see where he was coming from with Sheehan?
I must admit, I wasn't overly against it. I thought it looked a decent team. Sheehan's got obvious quality, hasn't he? We know what Erahon brings to the team. And I just assumed that, Schumacher had looked at the game and thought he wanted possibly someone who can ping the ball around a bit more like Sheehan can do on his day. So I don't think I was surprised with that. I tell you, I was surprised with what Statman said about Joel Randall. I found that really interesting because I think if you ask most of our fans, especially after seeing Force against Wigan, bagging them two, you'd probably say you'd fancy him to be the solution to the number 10 sort of conundrum. But I found that very interesting, and I completely agree with him because he's never wrong, is he? But that was interesting to me about Joel Randall, and I can definitely see where he's coming from there. Just shows you, innit? He's obviously got a really good knowledge at game, Statman Ante. He understands it. So I'm not going to argue with him and say Force should play, even though I really like the look of him. If he thinks we're a better team with Randall in, bring it on. I'm all for it.
I must admit, I was slightly not surprised, but I think in the back of my head, I was thinking I wouldn't be surprised if Randall or even McAtee, because he played well in midweek, or if Randall came in just for a bit more wants to be on the ball in midfield. Because I've not checked the stats, but I'd be surprised if Force made more than 15, 20 passes. He's not that type of player. He's a second striker, isn't he? He's there to finish his chances, and he even had two pretty good chances yesterday, which on another day, like he did last week, you'd have buried them both. He's there to finish off our chances rather than come deep and collect the ball and dictate the play. I think it's one of them. It's Andy's favourite phrase, horses for courses, isn't it? It's Force completely suited the way we played last week, playing a bit more transitional, as Statman was saying. Whereas yesterday, when we're on the ball, he was kind of a little bit. I'm not going to go too harsh on him because he had two good chances, and on another day he
could have had an hat-trick, mate, because Cozy Dewberry should have slipped him in as well when he shot. He was in acres of space. So he could have easily been on an hat-trick, and that's it, and it's the margins, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Angie, anything from Statman you wanna pick out, or
not too much? I am confused about one thing, Ben, that you keep mentioning.
Okay.
You keep mentioning this wind.
Was it not windy? Was it not? Because again, as I said, watching at home, you're not privy to the atmosphere and the circumstances. But I'm sure the commentator mentioned it. Bolton had the wind first half.
And the wind, what? Like with my fringe rag on my heart. Like there's not. Anyone else that was there? I do not recall a more than a stiff breeze, maybe. But
fair enough. You were there. I'm not going to argue with you. You were there.
I was like, see, I'm back to the wind again. know where it's come from.
Fake news.
Anyway, going back to the stat man. He's just isn't he? Like if he doesn't get a job in proper actual football, then
Absolutely,
isn't it?
I love how passionate he is. As he said, he's not even a fan, and he's getting. It is a
little bit of a worry for me that Sheehan now can't start with Randall because it makes the midfield too weak, or Simons because they do the same job. So we're struggling a little bit with who Sheehan can play with. But yeah, that's the conundrum.
Yes. Right. Well, we're struggling to think of some positives and negatives. Let's jump on to 3 up, 3 down. Yes, 3 up, 3 down. Get yours in the chat. 1 positive, 1 negative from each of us. I'd remember the mid-roll then. I'm surprised I didn't get shouted at in the chat, to be fair, because, I shouted at myself in the private chat, and Ange messaged me saying, no bloody mid-roll, man. What are you doing? I know. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've hosted a post-match show thing. And you know what I was thinking yesterday? Because we were trying to work out, obviously, ding ding, I went travelling last year. Jake's not in the chat tonight.
Did you go somewhere last year?
Yeah. I went off for a bit, didn't I? So until the Wimbledon game, I'd not seen Bolton win in person since the 29th of December last year, which was Lincoln at home.
Jesus.
Because I obviously missed 3 months when I was away. Came back, the 2 games that was Peterborough and Stevenage, both drew. And then I missed Plymouth at home, the third, our only other win this season before Wimbledon, because I was away. And it made me think, I actually don't think I've done a post-match show. I've not done a 3-point podcast in a long time because I've not been on the last 2. And for Plymouth, I was away. So I think it must have been the 29th of December when I was last on a 3-point podcast.
3-point pod.
I know, yeah. So when you see my name on the rotor for post-match, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right. Hope it's not December this year.
Remove Ben McQuaid from the post-match pod team.
Yeah, just stick me on the previews. I'm happy there. Anyway, 3 up, 3 down. And go on, you can start. You were there.
Well, I think my 1 down. Utter dross concourse.
Yeah.
No, but yeah.
Yeah.
That was my negative. What is my positive?
Yeah, it's a tough one this week, isn't it, really?
Oh my God, what is my positive? The cottage pie looked nice.
Look nice. Did you have it?
No, I didn't. I got a steak and ale pucker. But it was like a homemade cottage pie, which looked nice. Did anybody in the chat have the homemade cottage pie? It did look good.
Let's have the cottage pie review in the chat, yeah. I mean, when that's just one of them days, isn't it? When you're saying some of the food looked nice, we're scraping the barrel there, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Go on, Dan. Can you think of one?
So I watched it at home, and my positive was Super John on comms because he sounded absolutely rotten. He sounded really full of something, and he just battled through. And it was a day where there weren't much positives to take from the game. And he's a legend, isn't he, Super John?
Yeah, little steam, Super John.
Yeah. He sounded awful, but fair play to him. He just carries on, doesn't he? So he'll be my positive. Is Super John McGinley on comms.
Fair enough. And negative, you can only have one. Sorry, mate. I know there's a few, but
just a missed opportunity. I think just simple as that. I think we were all hoping to start a bit of a run, and obviously it didn't happen. Fair play to Northampton, but disappointing to not get anything from game. Not that we'd have deserved it, really, in my opinion. But just missed opportunity.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let's go with Leslie. Let's go with Leslie's positive.
Oh yeah, lovely Leslie.
Final whistle.
Positive. The final whistle. Yeah, ended in misery, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a reminder, it is Fanzone Focus next. Get your comments in a chat. If you want anything for us to dissect in a bit more detail afterwards. This is your part of the show at the end of the day. But yeah, my positive and negative. my negative being, I mentioned it before, basically all our best players this season having an off day at the same time was quite frustrating. I've not seen Simons look as kind of
it was
not safe on the ball,
game, wasn't it? It was his weakest. I love him. I love that boy.
The wind, wasn't it?
It must have been the wind.
He struggled with it. Yeah.
I don't know what else it could have been. It was blowing his gale.
Yeah.
Not a scary one. It was blowing his gale.
Yeah, Simons was off it. Conway's the first game where I've walked away thinking, he looked a bit shaky. Obviously got beat at the back post, didn't he, for their goal. Didn't quite get as involved driving with the ball as he usually does. And obviously Burstow, I mean, it's basically the first miss he's had all season. What you said before, actually, it was resonated a bit, saying he probably had too much time, because thinking back, all these goals this season have been kind of instinctive, hasn't they? I mean, I guess the Wigan one last week, he took it round someone, smashed it bottom corner, but all these other ones have kind of been, it falls to him and he just lashes it in, or he's in the right place, right time. Whereas there, he had like a full on 10 seconds to run through and think, right, what am I going to do with this here? And it is a thing, because I always felt the same with Dion Charles. Whenever he had loads of time, he'd always
overthinking it.
Overthinking it, and trying to have the perfect finish, and rather than just the instinctive ones, which you don't even
100%.
think about. Yeah.
But this is why we're good strikers, and we this is why they're
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It just brings us down to earth a bit, and we've been ranting and raving about how good they've been, and look, they can't be great every game.
Well, I had an off day as long as it's
exactly.
One. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Exactly. And my positive is, well, it's going to start off with a negative. It was when we conceded the penalty. Obviously, I was not happy at all, and I had my slippers on and booted the dining room door because I thought it was open. So because my dad had just gone outside because he was annoyed that we just conceded. I think he went in to make a brew, something like that. And I went to open the door and say, "Oh, Dad, they've got a penalty." Obviously, a bit more emotional than that, and went to kick the door open, and it was shut. So instead, big black mark from my slippers on the door, and I was thinking, oh no, I think my mum was outside. I'm going, oh shit, what am I going to do here? Sorry. Anyway, grabbed the cloth and it wiped off straight away. So that's my positive. Mum would never have to know.
Can I just add?
Crime.
Exactly.
People have discussed this in the chat, and a massive negative for me yesterday was, don't know what went on at the final whistle with fans giving Perino grief.
Really? I've not seen that.
Yeah, I think it came from the little corner bit. There were, I don't know, I was kind of right behind the goal, but it seemed to come from our right corner. And he went over to, I don't know what was going on, but what is that?
Strange.
I think if people are having a pop at him, they need to give their head a wobble, because he's been absolutely brilliant. And it's not that situation where that's needed. Absolutely. We've not 15 up bounce and like going down without a fight. He's been a good player. He weren't at his best, but he weren't bad on Saturday. I
thought he was okay yesterday.
I think he may have risen to it, which just got to ignore.
You do. Yeah.
But what?
Frustrated, wasn't
he? Yeah. I don't know what they were pissed off as we are. They've got to be, otherwise, like professional footballers. But I don't know what that was about. Or what
senseless.
Yeah, we're nowhere near that. I mean, not that that's never acceptable anyway, but we're absolutely nowhere near that.
Yeah. Oh, Farino literally skinned that lad yesterday about 3 times in the first half. Was it that the young one they've got on loan who went off?
Oh, yeah, Wheatley.
He broke him.
Yeah.
He literally broke him.
He's class, Farino. I love him.
He should have just walked away from it. But obviously, when their emotions they've just been beat, like their emotions are theirs are as high as ours, though.
Of course they are. Yeah, of course.
Of course, yeah. Right. Cheers for that. Let's move on to the final one, and it's fan focus. Yeah, so not had a load in this week. I think it's kind of same old story, isn't it? So it's kind of difficult to go over old ground. But Teddy Sharman-Lowe has been a big talking point. I mean, the last few weeks really, when he's been conceding sort of soft-ish goals. And I mean, the stats on him don't look great. We've conceded 20 shots on target, which is the least by an absolute mile in the league, by the way. That's what I'm saying about our defence. We barely concede a shot on target. That's 2 a game. That's nothing. But 10 of them have gone in, which is, by far the worst ratio in the league as well. It's one of them. He's a young keeper, and his shot-stopping stats weren't exactly outstanding in League Two last year. So I remember seeing that when we signed him. I thought, maybe he's, we're taking a chance on him and just improving naturally. Yeah. And I must say, outside of that, the rest of his game is pretty good. He comes to crosses quite well. He's obviously outstanding with the ball at his feet. He sweeps really well. He made a couple of good interventions yesterday when it looked like they were maybe through on goal, and he comes out and clears his lines. But how big of an issue do you think his shot stopping is? And if it is a big issue, what's the solution? Do we kind of plow through with him and say, look, mate, we believe in you and you're going to get through this bad run of form? Or is it time to maybe take him out the firing line and give maybe Tyler Miller or Nathan Broom? It will probably be Tyler Miller because he's been the cup keeper, hasn't he? Give him a bit of a chance because he's done okay in the cup since he had a bit of a poor debut, but he's been good in the pizza car whatever cup trophy games, hasn't he? Dan, what do you think, mate?
It's a tricky one with Sherman Law because, like you say, parts of his game are really good, but if you want to be old school on what he signed goalkeepers for in days gone by, it was to keep the ball out of the net and pretty much nothing else. That being said, I'm trying to think of a way to make it less negative for him. So I'm trying to think of, I think he needs a game where he makes a few bread and butter saves.
Yeah.
That aren't do you know what I mean? They're not dead hard. They're not top corner jobs, but where he makes a few saves. Because
a couple of comfortable saves for his confidence.
Yeah. I don't think there's a problem with him coming out for ball. His kicking's great. Like you said, his sweeping. They're all great qualities to having a keeper in modern day. But it just seems like every shot goes in. And that's not to say they're all kind of trickling through his arms or anything and he's having howlers. He's just not getting to the shots to save them, the ones that go in. And I think he could have done better. I think if you're getting your hand on ball, you should save it. The one against Barnsley were a bit poor. I don't know if I really blame him for any of the other ones. A bit of a mad decision at was it Leyton Orient when he came out of his area? I thought that were a bit of a mad one. But talking to Colin, I don't think Burstow helped him there either. But I don't think you'd drop him. I really don't. I think if anything, it shows that the defence is actually decent because the ratio's so small, the shots faced to conceded. It's just that they're nearly all going in, which sounds ridiculous to say. But we're not getting peppered. He's not having to make, 10 saves a game or whatever. But I feel like maybe he needs to. He needs to have a game where he can...
He's practically getting no in-game practice at shot stopping.
Yeah.
Because the defence are doing so well. So it's a big catch-22 for me that he's not getting that experience because the defence is doing so well. And when he does, we concede him. So it's should he be playing in the cup then?
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe
possibly.
Just give him a game to
For we are playing a slightly weakened team, and Miller has had some saves to make in those games.
He was all right against City, wasn't he, Miller? But it's like you said though, Ben. Going back to last season, his shot stopping were questioned then. So it can't be, maybe. I mean, there's definitely something in it. It's just I don't know if it's necessarily a fair reflection at the minute of the kind of shots he's been coming against regularly.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm happy with it because I think he couldn't do better on quite a few of these goals. But I think there's a bit more to it than that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm in the same boat where look, it's just. You know what I mean? I'm a stats guy. It's a small sample size, 10 games anyway, but not just 10 games, 20 shots conceded. It's nothing really to be able to evaluate how good he is at saving the ball. But there's been a few goals where have been a little. I think I remember after the Blackpool game, I think it was when the stats were starting to get brought up about how he's barely saved a shot, and at that point I was thinking, I don't think he could have done anything for any of the goals. And then recently, it's been yesterday was probably the I think it was the Lincoln header, wasn't it? And again, yesterday, the header from, again, it was about 8 yards out, wasn't it? But it was, as you say, you got a hand to it, and you think at that point, you should just tip it around the post, but it kind of flicked through, didn't it? And then I mean, what would have been great yesterday if he'd have saved the penalty and it had not fallen back at the feet of Hoskins. One of them when
So he did. He saved the penalty.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Most of the times,
that bit is overlooked now because we still conceded from that penalty. So.
Yeah, or if
he should have
one of his
pushed it away,
teammates,
in my
and
opinion.
he should have parried it away.
Yeah. I think if you've been Harpicus, we'll probably say he should have not parried it back into the area. But if one of his teammates helps him out and clears it away, and gets there before Hoskins, you go, wow, what save? That's a bit of confidence for him. And who knows what happens in the game if it's still 1-0 at that point. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of them. I think you stick with him for at least another 4 or 5 games at least, and see. Look, I mean. Someone just Radix just put Teddy Krellin in the chat. I mean, he's got a long way to go to be as bad as Krellin was. I mean, and even Krellin still kept his gloves for a while longer. So
I don't think he had any other options anyway.
Yeah.
To be fair, right. So this is how I've been looking at it. He's not even that young really now. He's 22, isn't he? Because he's not in that under 21.
Still very young
for a keeper,
though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he's 22. He's come out to us on loan to get more experience in the men's game. Lightning does not strike twice. So as soon as we got another Premier League keeper on loan, we ain't getting another James Trafford.
Never.
We're never going to get another James Trafford.
Yeah, it's once in a blue moon, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely not. Not going to happen. And we all know how bad Traff had by the time Traff had when he was at Accrington. And
we didn't want him half the time.
Exactly. And sometimes we know this from players past that we've had or that have gone to other clubs that sometimes it doesn't you don't fit, you don't gel, you don't. This he's a 22-year-old who's. When we had Traff, his parent club was down the road. He didn't have to leave home. He was
all very comfortable,
very comfortable. So he's had to come up from down south. Do a shit accent again. I love to do an accent. So he's uprooted and stuff. He's thrown in this men's game. I know it's the job, but I'd give him longer because it's got to be confidence for the keeper. Start lacking confidence, and then
that's the thing. As soon as you start swapping and changing, I mean, it showed last season how many times have we swapped Baxter and Southwood last year, and it didn't help either of them. And Baxter's a good keeper. I mean, I don't think we saw the best of Southwood, but he's been a League One keeper for a few years. I know, obviously, he's dropped down to League Two this season, but Baxter's a good keeper. We saw it the year before. He's one of the best keepers in the league. But as soon as you shoot his confidence like that,
that relationship. As well with that back line. So we've already chopped and changed a little bit with that defensive back line, and our captain's not playing. He's on the bench. So you've got to build a relationship, but then he needs to do better. I'm not saying.
Yeah, and I think he'll know that himself. He'll be disappointed in himself. Yeah,
and I don't think he lacks confidence either.
No, God,
He doesn't look shaky. Yeah.
No, so there were times with Baxter where I used to be on pins when he was clearing a ball because he had to do that little funny step thing, and I was like,
God. Yeah.
But with him, it doesn't worry me in that respect. It's when you get those looping crosses coming in and gets beat at his near post, and you're like, oh, come on, boy. Like, there's certain elements of his games that massively need working on, but other things, his distribution's brilliant.
Yeah,
I think that's why he's at League One.
Halfway line, he's fast. He'll come out to almost the halfway line and clear a ball.
He's got a lot of quality. He has undoubtedly. I just wonder as well.
That's why he's out on loan with us.
Of course. Do you think he should have come for the cross, or do you think Conway should have done better there?
No, I think that's on Conway, to be honest. And you know me, I've been Conway's biggest fan all season as well, and I think I think that's one of them. You can't really get beaten at your back post like that. But I don't know. What was I going to say? Yeah, obviously you mentioned about how loan deals don't always work out the first few times. Sometimes it's your third or fourth spell which turns into a good player. As you mentioned about Traff. Look, we've seen it at the opposite end of the pitch with Mason Burstow. I mean, he's something like tripled his career goal tally just at us this season. But he had a difficult spell at Charlton, and then he's not done the best haul this season. All it takes is one spell to click, and you finally adjust to men's football, and you're a different player straight away. I mean, even going back to like Dapo Afolayan, he had a couple of other loan spells in League Two where he was pretty what's the word? Not non-existent, anonymous kind of, and then it came towards and it just suddenly clicked out of nowhere.
Yeah,
so
they don't all work. They don't all work,
No.
but
No.
you got to at least give him a chance, and we've got to support him because he's our player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we need one of them games where we're a bit under the cosh. Maybe it's our own downfall. We've not been dominated that much that we barely had a chance for him to make some saves. But yeah, he needs to do better, and he'll know that himself. I think that's pretty much it for that. In terms of other questions, not too many to be fair. Is there any other you saw in the chat?
I personally, I've just seen Cole's comment about imagine if that were Cogley, and it's bang on the money, that, isn't it? Because Cogley's he's the homegrown hero coming back. He's not really put a foot wrong, and it just shows you, done it, that we, as a club, we do definitely have our favourites, don't we? Some get a bit more of an easy ride than others, but just something worth considering, isn't it? Because certain players seem to cop for it a lot more than others.
Mm-hmm.
And just to say, Radix, if he's wearing our shirt and got our badge on his chest, then he's our player.
Of course he is.
Whether it be loan or not, he's our player, and we'll get behind him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just on Cogley, he went off, didn't he? With about just before they scored their 2 goals. I think it was a mixture between, he got skinned a couple of times by the long ball, didn't he? By their keeper, who had a very interesting kicking technique, which obviously worked very well. He was dropping the ball and booting it on the half volley, and he just seemed to absolutely launch it, didn't he? But he is. Yeah,
absolute unit.
And that's what McGee and again Ole said in the chat before. He was at Scunthorpe
from National League North,
South. Yeah, National League North.
Whichever one,
Whichever, yeah.
Well, do you know what? And we spoke about this in the way on as well last night. Like those players that have they've done the hard yards, they've played in those leagues, and should we have looked for someone a bit older with a bit more, not saying like Jilks type age, but that sort of experience and. That sometimes we haven't really got that, have we? We've got a kid. I don't even know what Broom's about because we've not seen anything of him. Nothing. And obviously Miller's he's played about twice for Notts County. I think that's pretty much it. We've not really got a huge amount of league experience.
We've not gone for that for experience and age basically in net, have we? Basically since. I'm trying to think since they took over FV, because thinking back to, we've had Krellin, Dixon, Trafford, Baxter, Sharman Lowe, or Southwood, all under the age of 25, 26, really, isn't it? It's interesting. I mean, obviously some of them have been brilliant. Trafford is the best keeper we've had for a long, long time. And Baxter was great first season. So, yeah, it's interesting to see how it goes. It's always a bit hit and miss. But, yeah, I was going to go back to Cogley. He came off, didn't he, with about 25 minutes to go. Again, from home, wasn't too sure what happened. Did he get an injury? Or because I think Cole said yesterday he was a bit injured, or was that a tactical thing? Because if it was a tactical thing, I'm not kind of sure where he was coming from there, because it ended up with Javier Simons at right back and he struggled, didn't he?
He was injured, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he took a knock. Whether that were part of him getting done a few times, I don't know, but that were a bit of a concern because he seemed to get done quite easily there. But I suspect it might have been playing with that injury at that point. I like Cogley. I mean, he's
before the skins he got. Do we think that was a pre? Was carrying that from early on?
Possibly. I think he would say that, wouldn't he? He'd go, yeah, that's why I got skinned a couple of times. But yeah, I don't know. Cole said Cogley was injured. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised then, because I did surprise me that sub. I was thinking, what's going to happen here? Sam's right back. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, look, I think we're going to round off there, because going around in circles about me, it kind of happens when there's a loss like this. But it's been great. Thanks for joining us. It's been, as always, a nice therapy session. Thanks to the 155 who've had following along this evening. As always, check out Loving My Socials. Best in the business for social media, websites, marketing, all that good stuff. Links in the description on our website. All the usual. And I always forget to do this, but give us a like and subscribe. We're pushing. I think we're almost at 1,400 if I'm not mistaken on YouTube. be nice to get 1,500 by the end of the year is a realistic target. I think that'd be lovely. That's a Christmas present. So yeah, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, or if you're over on Twitter or Facebook or wherever else, come over to YouTube and give us a subscribe and turn the notifications so you know when we go live. I mean, it's Thursday, Sunday every week pretty much, unless we do a random Friday night preview like we did the other week with Wigan.
A random possibly Wednesday for Huddersfield one, and a
possibly.
Friday.
Yeah. God knows what's going to happen with that if they're on. A random Thursday night game. That'll be interesting for the schedule. Good luck to Ben for the rower for that. But anyway, thanks for joining us. Cheers, Dan. Cheers, Ange. Welcome back, Ange, as well. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, welcome back.
It's like riding a bike, isn't it?
Yeah, talking about Bolton losing. Yeah, brilliant. Anyway, thank you. Very good evening. Hope we've have all a good week, and let's hopefully talk about 3 points this time next week. Cheers.
Thanks, chat. Bye-bye now.
See ya.